Nice little walk just before I go and hit the River Center down in Iowa. Looking forward to seeing Susan down there. She's taking a road trip apparently to come and check out what we got going on via caged aggression. Pretty pumped for it, guys. Man, is this public? Hit me in the chat, guys, if this is public. There we go. We got some people coming in. Just making sure. So, I want to talk about a couple of the headlines that are making their rounds. And one of them is that now Bill Gates is going to experiment on blocking the sun in Sweden. Now, I forget the exact substance, but it is not, as far as I know, some of the substances that we go over in geoengineering via Shade the Motion Picture. But you got to remember that that film's 8 years old and discussed these very things, and not only these very things about weather modification, but the things that involved Bill Gates, GMO, and Monsanto. And that brings us really quickly to the second part of this title when we're talking about GMO bugs, GMO insects, and really specifically we're talking about mosquitoes that will be released in the United States, in Houston and Florida, and I think it's beginning either this week or next. And they're saying that they're genetically modified to stop malaria. What? I didn't know there were like huge outbreaks of malaria, for instance, here in the United States, especially in Houston and Texas. And the other thing that is extremely alarming is that his quote-unquote foundation has been running these types of biological experiments for years. And when we say genetically modified organism, we can talk about humans as well. If you're not talking about humans at this point with everything that's going on, if you're not realizing the whole thing is a transhuman agenda, I don't know what to tell you. For instance, we went over a lot of Gates' different investments in Shade. And when we talked about geoengineering and blocking the sun via sprays, etc., it was important to talk about Gates because he was funding a lot of these programs. And it was important to talk about him because he was also into a thing called eugenics. All right? When they tell you that these things are going to come, via your food or via genetically modified bugs like they're doing, they mean it. They 100% mean it. So one of the big things that's going on with this Sweden project, right? They're saying it's experimental. It's really not that experimental. They've done it how many times in how many places. And now this is just kind of the public rollout of it, and to give more power and authority to a man that's never been elected to anything. And remember, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, it wants your kids, it wants education. He's openly talking about that over a decade ago. Education, also extremely important. They want your kids to be slaves. They want them to acquiesce to mass. They want them in a box. They want them obedient. They want to brainwash them. And unfortunately, especially today, we have so many that never got over their childhood, still have childlike minds, and are going to buy it to the very, very bitter end that this guy's a great guy. That this guy's a great guy. I mean, think about it. How much pushback have we had on the genetically modified mosquito story? How long have I been covering that? And, again, when Bill Gates also tells you that climate change is probably the most important thing, and we need a carbon credit system, he means it. He doesn't mean it because it is the most important thing, but it is the most important thing to gain control over the entire human populace. As you now see, they have equated this COVID-1984 nonsense with the fact we're going to need rolling lockdowns to save the environment. Do you think a guy like Gates is ever locking down? How many times have you seen Gates wear a mask? Give me a break. Give me a break. So, there was a reason, again, I highlighted them for like 20 minutes in Shade the Motion Picture. It's in the playlist section, by the way. If you haven't seen Shade, it's time to watch it. It's time to get over it, because they're injecting us with harm, physically and mentally, every single day. And it goes beyond any kind of like just boop, boop. Let's make that extremely clear, okay? It comes down to the fact that a guy like Fauci can be a career establishment hack that promoted the use of AZT during HIV and AIDS in the late 80s, early 90s, all over the place. And we all know right now, at least if you studied it, that AZT is no bueno. A guy who, at the almost outset of this, told us we should never shake hands again. Remember in the beginning they were telling you it could live on surfaces for up to 2 weeks. We need to wipe everything down. And people are still wiping, but quietly they've admitted 2 weeks. Come on now. Come on now. Come on now. And by the way, only 40 thumbs up. Can we double that? Can we double that, guys? So, was laughed at a decade plus ago when I started talking about it. People didn't pay attention enough when we did it in Shade. Okay? And now we're here. And now we got a guy that is doing these commercials about how they're going to send contact tracing global UN units around the world while he cackles in his sweater in a weird blue misty scene. And he's completely unaccountable. Completely unaccountable. Do you think that Gates or his wife will ever see a day in prison? Ever in their lives? Do you think anybody in the royal family in the UK is ever going to see a day in prison in their lives? It's weird, like the spokespeople for them, like when you look at the UK, for instance, you have a guy like Charles pushing the same climate agenda, getting behind people like Gates, and saying we need a Marshall-like plan against climate change. What? A Marshall-like plan? That means the military over there. Oh, so as this continues on, I just need people to fight back and say, look, I'm not going to be forced to do anything I want. I will not acquiesce. We need to reopen without any restrictions. Again, last night, I was in an audience of probably well over 1,000 people. Didn't put a mask or do on once. Now, don't get me wrong. They had the stupid rules there where if you got up out of your seat, you're supposed to wear one. Luckily, again, I had my little pass and no one was bothering us. It was very, very relaxed. But I can tell you, this isn't the first time I've been amongst 1,000 plus people. It won't be the last. I'll be there tonight. I've been around hundreds of thousands via the Trump rally. Okay, no doubt about it. And the bottom line is no big outbreaks, no super spreader events. There's only a super spreader event when the media and, basically the predator class wants to keep things going and keep fear going. And that's what they've done. It's disgusting. And it's working into every aspect of our lives. And people like Gates and Fauci need to be tried for war crimes against humanity. Their infrastructure absolutely exposed and dismantled, period. And we got to get rid of this idea that we can fix everything with a boop boop or a pill or a spray or now a genetically modified mosquito. Because that's the tip of the iceberg, baby. Tip of the iceberg. Let's see what we got going on in the chat. Let's chat with you guys for a second as we stroll through the neighborhood. Where was Trump's 100,000 person rally? What are you talking about, Jilly? You don't think there was at least 100,000 people over at January 6th? Not the Capitol, but where it was the Elise? At least 100,000 people there. Go visit Ghislaine in jail. See if she's there. People are starting to wonder, well, you know what? Again, guys, the trial is supposed to start in July. I know there's a lot of people that are wondering, but I'm not wondering. I'm wondering what the treatment's like, what the limited hangout will be, and what the overall public outcome. Listen, I put nothing past these people. Yeah. I mean, Jilly, I'm just saying that at least 100,000. I mean, people have put it at like 1 million. I don't know about that. I saw that on Ancestry.com's and Melinda. That's ridiculous. Yeah, you got to watch what you say. That's ridiculousness. Again, that's like 4chan trolling. Well, Jillian, thank you very much. I'm not right or left, but I do appreciate people that can at least look at both sides of issues and then realize that there's more than just both sides. There's the side that actually empowers humanity and the common person. And then there's the narrative that is spun and literally drowning society that is promoted by and written by a predator class. Ridiculous is that, listen, man, Melinda Gates alive. A lot of people have the same name. There may be even a couple Jason Burmises out there. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, no, I get it, Samantha. Rockfin. Yeah, let's talk about the Rockfin right now. So rockfin.com/Jason Burmis. You need to go follow me there. That's where we can get a little livelier talking about the boop boop. This geoengineering. You can see shade in a amazing 720p quality, also free over there. Virginia Giuffre slammed Kamala for B. Clinton's women empowerment event. Again, Bill Clinton and women empowerment. Listen, I have to watch, George W. Bush, Barack Obama, and Bill Clinton stand socially distanced and tell everybody to take a boop boop. Three, very bad men in my opinion. And puppets all. Let me repeat that. And puppets all. I think that Bill Clinton and Barack Obama did a better job of disguising, the strings that were pulling them than George Bush did. But that's just me. That's my opinion. What do we got? More left-right nonsense for the what? State? I don't know what that means. Thumbs it up. A little over 100 thumbs, 200 plus watching. Can we get a little bit more thumbing and upping? I'll probably do one of these guys, by the way, over at over at the event, River Center, Caged Aggression Night 2. I know at least one of you got the pay-per-view. The fights were banging last night. See, I had a great time last night, doing a job. It was awesome. Main event was a bit of a disappointment, but everything else was boom, 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 loving it. In fact, I think my nieces and my sister are going to come out tonight, which is awesome. So they're going to get to see their first live MMA events. Pumped for that. I guess, guys, thumbs it up, subscribe, and share. You know the deal. You want to support me? Join the Rockfin. Make that free account. Financially, if you want to support me, make the premium account. It's like a Netflix for creators. Helps a lot. And look, I'm a little burnt out. I did like 3.5 hours of commentary last night on top of that hour plus long Biden watch along and the Tito Ortiz video. So we'll see what happens in the next couple days. But if you want to hear my voice later on, remember cagedaggression.tv is where you can check out the the pay-per-view and some banging fights. Love y'all. See you soon.